You ever notice how people in countries where the average salary is 20,000 to 25,000 rupees are walking around with iPhones that cost 4 times their monthly income? Like, how? Why? This is where the Apple trap comes into effect. Seriously, imagine making 25,000 rupees a month and buying a phone that costs 80,000 rupees. That's not a phone purchase, that's a lifestyle commitment. And what's even crazier, most of them aren't buying it for the camera or the processor or even the sleek design. They're buying it for something else entirely, something far more emotional. And you probably are too. Let's talk about how Apple doesn't just sell phones, they sell identity, and why that's a trap so many of us walk into willingly. But first, let me tell you a little story. And while you're settling in, hit like and subscribe. Because unlike the iPhone, this content won't cost you a month's salary. When I was growing up, there was this one guy in our apartment building named Rajesh. He was the first one to own a DVD player. And not just that, he had this massive 29-inch TV, which back then felt like sitting in a cinema. Every weekend, kids from all floors would magically drop by his place just to catch a glimpse of The Matrix or popular movies of that time. Nobody talked about it openly, but we all knew Rajesh was that guy. It wasn't really about the DVD player, it was about what it meant. Owning that thing made him the center of attention. He had tech that nobody else could afford. He was the default cool. That's exactly what the iPhone has become today. You're not just buying a phone, you're buying the modern version of that living room with the 29-inch screen and a line of neighborhood kids outside. The thing is, it wasn't really about us or the lawn, it was the flex. Same goes for the iPhone. Same goes for color TVs when they first came out, or CD Walkmans, or that one rich kid in school who had Heelys. These things were never about features. They were about social signaling. You weren't buying an iPhone, you were buying status. You were buying a seat at the cool kids table, and Apple knows that. Let's be real. On paper, there are Android phones with better specs, faster charging, more customization, better cameras in some cases, but nobody's flexing their OnePlus in a group photo. You know why? Because the iPhone isn't just a phone anymore. It's become a cultural artifact, a subtle way to say, look at me, I made it. Even Tim Cook once said, our objective has never been price optimization. Translation, we're not here to be cheap, we're here to be great, or at least make you feel great. And here's where the trap begins. You don't just buy an iPhone, that's never how it ends. Apple is a master at something called the ecosystem lock, and it's genius. Here's how it works. You buy the iPhone, cool, but then you want to listen to music, so you get AirPods. Then you want to track your steps. Hello, Apple Watch? Need a laptop? MacBook. Notes sync beautifully between your phone and iPad? Guess you need the iPad now too. Suddenly, you're not just a customer, you're own. It's like buying a couch and realizing it only fits in one specific living room that Apple just so happens to sell piece by piece. And guess what? You can only get the matching carpet, TV, and lamp from them. That's not a bug, it's the business model. And don't think this is just some Western marketing gimmick. We've been trained for this since childhood. Remember school? You think your parents were just paying tuition? Nope. Uniforms, excursion fees, art supplies, costume days, extra coaching. The list went on and on. Once you were in, it was financially harder to get out than to just keep paying. That's an ecosystem trap too. Apple just made theirs prettier. Now here's the really clever part. You'd assume everyone's shelling out 80,000 plus for the latest iPhone. But that's not what's actually happening. A huge chunk of people are starting with used or refurbished models. The iPhone 13 is still one of the top sellers even though we're 3 generations ahead. Why? Because it gives people the ability to enter the club at a lower cost. You still get the Apple logo. You still get the green bubble versus blue bubble cloud. And most importantly, you feel like you belong. But then the craving begins. That iPhone 13 doesn't have the latest camera tech, or the new dynamic island, or that one feature your friend keeps showing off. And suddenly, the EMI for 6,000 rupees per month for the latest model doesn't seem that bad. You start thinking, if I just skip eating out this month, maybe I can swing it. But here's where Apple really gets you. The iPhone is just the gateway drug. Let me walk you through the math. iPhone 15, 80,000 rupees. MacBook Air, 99,900 rupees. AirPods Pro, 26,900 rupees. Apple Watch SE, 24,900 rupees. iPad, 49,900. rupees total equals 2.8 lakh rupees, and that's without Apple Care, or iCloud storage, or Apple One subscriptions. You think you're signing up for 6,000 rupees a month, but what you're actually signing up for is lifestyle debt. And it doesn't stop, because every 1 to 2 years, 36% of users upgrade. That's just what Apple expects from you. From a business standpoint, brilliant. From a personal finance angle, ouch. Let's pause and ask the real question. Why do we keep doing this? It's not just because Apple makes good products, though they do. It's because of a deep, almost childlike desire to be seen, to be accepted, to feel like we're part of something aspirational. When I was a kid, I desperately wanted an MRF cricket bat. Not because I played for India, but because the best kid in the neighborhood had one, and all the other kids gathered around him. Then it was the PlayStation, then it was sneakers. Now, it's the iPhone. Different packaging, same emotion. We keep chasing that same validation hit, except the price tag keeps going up. But here's the thing. You can escape the trap. Take a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, label one side, reactions. The other, things I actually want. Under reactions, write down every time you're tempted to buy something because of a sale, a new release, an ad, or someone else flexing it online. Now under things I actually want, write the stuff that truly matters to you. It could be a trip, a skill, time with family, a side project, that business you've been dreaming of. If the iPhone genuinely helps you with that, great, go for it. But if you're buying it just because it's the next cool thing, maybe you're reacting, not choosing. You're not weak, you're just human. And Apple's entire business depends on that. Look, Apple isn't evil. They just understand us better than we understand ourselves. They've mastered the art of packaging aspiration. But you know what's even cooler than owning the latest iPhone? Owning your choices. The next time you find yourself itching for that upgrade, just ask, is this what I really want? Or am I just reacting? Because once you start answering that honestly, Apple no longer has you trapped. You win,